Okay, here's part two. So if you don't want to do a line drawing, and sometimes you don't, the line drawing is not what you want, you can also make a screenshot that shows texture and color. So let me show you how to do that. We have our same cube, and if I type in A1, remember that should be my named view. I like to keep the names short so it's quick to just type on the keyboard. And so we're not going to print. We are going to change the view to make it look nice. And the best place to start is Arctic, which is a view setting in Rhino. And you see it's made everything white and it's given me these kind of nice shadows, but it's still kind of hard to see the edges of my shape. So what we're going to do is basically I am going to select my objects, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the display of these objects be independent from the general display in Rhino. So right now, the whole Rhino world is set to Arctic, but I'm going to override that just in these objects. So I'll show you an example. I'm just going to do this triangle for now. And the command that we need is called SetObjectDisplayMode. See it there? SetObjectDisplayMode. And now you can basically choose the view. So these are all my Rhino views. It's the same list that's in the menu over here. I have the classic ones. I have some that I made, and you can make your own, called dark and light. So if I do my shaded, click there. So you see right away, I have this in shaded view. And it's being red. It's red because my red is the color of that layer. So I actually don't like that. Set objects display mode, my shortcut is SE. I'm going to change it to my dark mode because I've made nice clean lines there. I can give you guys, I can export that view setting if you want. So now I'm going to do this to all of them. So select object display mode. I can just type in M and I can type in D. You see the D is underlined. Anytime the letter is underlined, that's the keyboard shortcut to just choose that option. Okay, and there we have, so we're in an Arctic world, but with custom displays for these objects. So I'm going to type in A1, get back to the same view that we did before. That's why it's good to have name views. And so now I want this as an image. So there's really two options. You can just do a normal screenshot the way you would on any application on your computer. For my Windows computer, it's Windows Shift S. I don't know if this is recording, but I'm doing an example. And you drag a window, and then you have to go find it. I'll find it later. The other thing you can do is view capture to file. So this is a command that is basically the built-in screenshot command, view capture to file. And again, we have a little preview window, which is very helpful. Right now it's very horizontal because that's my viewport shape. It's very horizontal. You can just export it like this as long as the resolution is good. Because this is unlike the PDF, this is going to be a pixel drawing, which is to say it could be pixelated if you accidentally do too low resolution. You can kick the scale up and you see it's a bunch of pixels now, but 1,000 pixels is generally a good amount. That won't be low res. You can change the resolution here to be more custom. But remember, this is 16,000 by 12,000 for this whole preview area. So really, the pixels that are involved in my actual image might be a little bit less. So maybe to be safe, yeah, I'll do that for now. I think it's okay that it's off-centered because we'll center it in InDesign. So I click OK, and it's going to ask me where I should put it. This is another thing I was working on. I'm going to put it in my Wentworth folder. I'll just put it in the tutorials folder. Cube test. Saved as a JPEG, not a PDF. And there, it's done. So now we can bring that up to see how it came out. Bring it up. So here we have our cube test. So you would do this in whichever folder you're doing your whole project in and upload to put in your InDesign file from there. So here it is. Let's see. See how it's a bit pixelated when I zoom in? I think for this assignment, this is okay. And you don't need to do an AXO view for some of these screenshots because I think what's interesting also is if we're in an AXO view, the properties panel, which is this rainbow wheel, will let you change the camera. So there's perspective and then there's parallel projection. So plan oblique world is parallel projection. Perspective looks more like a camera. So let's put it in perspective really quick. So see, I'm orbiting, panning, and now you can tell it's in perspective. It's not. I'll flip it back and forth. Parallel. All the lines are always parallel, X, Y, Z. Perspective, they're not because they're imitating a camera and how our eyes actually see. So this lens length is actually a really important thing. It basically is how much the perspective is working and distorting our view. But the distortion is actually a good thing. Sometimes it's more realistic when we put a lower value, 25 millimeter. It's literally imitating like a camera lens. Any of you guys that have done photography. So see, I can like get up in the model. I'm orbiting. There's also another, if I hold down Alt and right click drag, I can do a zoom. So now it's like, kind of looks like these are like a large towers and I'm a person standing on the ground. If I like that view, do I like that view? Almost. Maybe that's too distorted. It can get too distorted. And sometimes the camera gets stuck in the wall. You'll notice that. It's kind of a weird thing that happens. You can always zoom again to your selection if the orbiting starts to get crazy and harder to handle. So now see, it was kind of like messing up on me. Okay, so I have a nice squared off view of one of these triangles. Okay, cool. I like it. I'm gonna save it. This is a great practice. Save that view. So don't call it A1 because then we'll lose that one. I like to do A for axon and P for perspective. So that's just my system. You can do P1, P2, P3. And so let's just show that. So there's P1. I can now just like move it around. So this is like a weird cube I made pretty quickly. But I'm just selecting it and zooming in again. That's kind of funky. I like how the legs are overlapped a bit. Let me lower. So I'm just panning, holding shift. If you hold shift, I think some of you know this, instead of orbiting, it pans. Okay, I like that one. I'm going to save that as P2. Okay. This is good because now I double click back to P1, back to P2. And the nice thing is like if I want these top ones to be a different color, let me go back to layers. So I just had a layer called build. I have a layer that was make 2D, and I'm going to do a layer that's called blue. I know that's a bit random, but it's just because that's going to be the color blue. And I'll show you how to change layers. So I just want the triangles on top to be on the blue layer so that they show up as blue. The way I do that is I get what I want to move, selected, right click on the layer I want them to go to. So that's blue layer. And here I have change object layer. This is the way I do it. I think it's pretty convenient. I like that view also. So I'm going to save this one too. So you can really save as you go. Just remember that if you accidentally save over one, you'll lose it forever. So close it. I have NV as my shortcut for name views. Kind of looks silly. Let me make two of them yellow. This is just to try stuff. Okay. Strange, but I like it. I'm gonna now remember I can lose this view. Go to P3. Back. So now I was going to view capture it. It's a little bit off to the side. Maybe I'll go back to Viewport. I guess my whole view is off to the side because I have my menu, but that's kind of okay. Go back to P3, view capture to file. And that last resolution wasn't quite enough, I think. So I'm going to do the next one up. It's kind of in the 2000s. And again, we're asked where we want to save it. I'm just going to call it P3. And look, now you can kind of go quickly. P2, view capture. It's kind of too similar to P3 now that I think about it. But just showing you. P1, that first one we did, view capture to file. Cruising. Okay. P1. You know, it'd be cool, a top view. A top view with perspective. You know, it's different from a plan. Plan doesn't have perspective, remember that. Trying to get the red, trying to get a straight view, make all the legs the same. And this is why the Alt right click zoom out is good because it doesn't mess the orbit. It's like a straight zoom. And you know what? I can make the camera more dramatic here. Let me just exaggerate it for you guys. 16 millimeters. I zoom back in. So it's like really distorting. All right. Remember to save your view. P4. If these kind of shortcuts get confusing and you don't use the shortcuts, you can also just make the name more descriptive. So I can just do top perspective. You can call them whatever you want. Okay. And you'll see I can type in P4 and it even remembers the lens length. Basically, it remembers all the camera stuff. If I type in P3, I go there. P4, I go there. If I type in top perspective, it goes there as well, but it's just much more annoying to type. And now I'll do my last view capture. Looks good. It's all in the frame. And there goes P4. So I made 4 views of my cube. All right, good luck.